This is a cisgender heterosexual dyad. The wife wants a legally binding financial agreement to resolve an asset split in case of death or divorce. She believes that she's brought almost all the assets into the relationship and is a bigger contributor overall. Her husband is mortified that she's reduced their relationship to being about money. She recognizes that she has a history of trauma around financial insecurity, but she feels stuck on needing the agreement and she can't hear his hurt. He can't hear her worry, and he feels really devastated by this suggestion. She says it's not trust, it's fairness that's at stake.
When possible, and I don't think this is possible. I think this is going to be too neurologically preoccupying to the wife to put it on hold. But when possible, we would love this client to get through stages 1 and 2 of EFT and then use stage 3 to address what they do with a financial agreement. But this is not just about the content of finances and assets and liabilities and death and divorce. This is a threat for this partner's nervous system. And she thinks her safety is going to come with this agreement. She probably would get some temporary comfort if this agreement were to be arranged and signed, sealed, delivered, probably temporarily. The reality is, with a nervous system that has continuing echoes of trauma, there'll be another need in a short time, a month, a half a year, to keep her nervous system soothed until she actually deals with the real echoes of trauma. And so could we talk about the threat she lives with without this financial clarity? Could we talk about that threat emotionally, affectively? Doing EFT, hold the fear, prioritize the fear. It's about this threat of not yet agreed upon financial realities. She's in fear regularly, which is why she's persistent and probably sounding very demanding and maybe even sounding unreasonable. And so the strength of her persistence correlates, I would say, with the depth of her fear and the threat she feels about this. So I would spend as long as I needed to helping hold her fear. Tell me more. This fear lives where in your body? This fear comes alive when? I'm a couples therapist exclusively, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't suggest maybe 3 sessions with her to focus individually, and I would offer her partner the same number of sessions. The partner might not need it. The partner may only need 1, but I would want an individual session with the partner to reassure them that I'm still working on the relationship's behalf and how is this for you, and hold your fears, partner. But I would really want to be processing nothing else than fear. And it will take a couple sessions for this person to find their fear, because not everyone's ready to process their fears just because a clinician knows or thinks that that's what's going to help them the most. The client will feel like that's an indirect route, but for the clinician who understands the need for limbic revision, it's the most efficient way I can help you actually clarify the function of this financial agreement. Right now, the financial agreement sounds like it's functioning as a reaction to threat. Right. And we actually want to deal with the threat, make the threat relational to shrink the threat, and then see if there's a continued need for a financial agreement. When anything is preoccupying to the brain, it's not a simple content issue that we want to resolve in stage 3 of EFT. Take the preoccupation that they're bringing in. Some people would say, oh, that's content. We don't do content. But anything that's preoccupying to this degree actually is a great portal into the exact affect that we want to be working with anyway. It's a great trigger for it to come alive. It's already alive in their nervous system. Yeah. And so use that aliveness to get in limbic resonance, then regulation, and then revision with you initially, the clinician, and then eventually with their partner, who has learned that if I can hold this fear, as hard as that is to do, and as worried as this partner might be, hasn't felt successful, blah, 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 hold his fears, then she would need to hear and hold his fears and get that going back and forth between them. And once we settle the threat, once we contain and mitigate the threat of their difference, right now they're getting polarized around a difference that's threatening for each of them. There's no way to cognitively find a solution while the threat is so preoccupying. So actually, let's go to where the nervous system is, which is preoccupied with threat. Let's work on the threat and all the associated emotion that comes with that. Settle that, get that starting to get revised, and then go back to what's the function of any continued thought of a financial arrangement.
For more hot tips on emotionally focused therapy, go to theeftcafe.com and sign up for news and updates.